6 months straight, that is like a semester now, and doing and memorizing those words, the students who had their previous education in English will leave you there and they will achieve their goals first. The another problem that is faced by the students from vernacular language school, that most of their parents are not very vastly educated about English. They have the preliminary knowledge, but that they don't have the vast knowledge that provide one good environment for communicating in English. It is often seen today in vernacular medium schools, the students are not much encouraged to speak in English. Inside or outside the classroom, inside or outside the regions, with the native speakers who do their daily source in only their regional languages. It is still seen today that if a student who is studying in his vernacular medium school are very afraid of raising a question to a person who is very fluent in English, but the student who has got his education, who has got his formal education in English, is never afraid of raising a question because he is never afraid of making grammatical mistakes. We are running after grammatical mistakes. We are afraid of making grammatical mistakes. Respected speaker, sir, let me give an example to my war opponents of Kenya, a country that is hit by extreme poverty. The teachers of Kenya says by itself that the students of Kenya cannot understand anything when it is written in English. They can understand everything, they can read everything when it is written in their regional languages, resulting the students lacking confidence to communicate in English. The UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, estimates that 171 million of the world population would have got employed and they would have escaped extreme poverty if they had the basic literacy skills in English. So being in a country like India, which is hit by extreme poverty, where the employment rate is so low, we have to go outside to study. We have to go outside for our employment. We have to go outside for our establishment. And where English is a very most vastly populated language, you have to be very fluent in English. And as to gather that knowledge, you have to continue your formal education in English. Let me remind my opponents about the Constitutional Act 343, about the Official Language Act 1963. They may have forgotten it, that the India has given a high priority to English language. English shall be used in those official works of the parliament, those official works of the central government. It shall be used in between the companies owned by the central government with the central government. According to the Article 343, let me open your eyes. According to the Article 343, English shall be in use in those purposes where it was in use immediately before the commencement. So India is giving high priority to English language. So why are students being unable to speak English? If I randomly pick one of the students studying in a government or vernacular medium school, they are unable to communicate. I am Arindam Barua, standing before you to express my views against on the previously mentioned topic. Vernacular medium in our formal education cannot be a barrier for communication in English. English is a largely spoken language all over the world. About 1.5 billion of the world population speak English all over the world. But in such countries where education is given in their regional language, in their vernacular language, English is just taught as a subject, not as a language for communication. It is still seen today that in the classrooms, the native speakers as well as the listeners speak English in their native forms, resulting lack in confidence, lack in desire. They are not taught with proper maintenance, not with proper guidance, not with proper environment. That's why the students are being unable to communicate in English. Respected speaker, sir, in rural areas, even today, the students are taught in the regional languages and they have to study their higher studies that follows in English medium. In any of my points, I am never disrespecting their vernacular language. But what I am trying to say is that they have to learn the same things that they had learned in their previous days in English. And one of my opponents has given the point of Rubel Maud. Respected speaker, sir, I want to raise a question to you. Should you be like Rubel Maud? Rubel Maud was a very sharp-brained student who could do the 10th numerical when he was in class 6. But did you read his autobiography, Muru Eta Hopon Ase? In his, he wrote that he faced the barriers of communication. What did he write? He used to read and write and memorize each and every word in English for 6 months straight. And in this competitive world, in these competitive days, you can't spend your 6 months doing so. These 6 months which calls you a semester. Will you be doing like reading and writing and memorizing each and every word like him? You better not be there, because this is a competitive phase and the other students who had their previous education in English will leave you there and they will achieve their goal first. Another problem, respected speaker sir, I would like to present another problem of the regional language students in the studying in the vernacular medium school, that 90% of their parents don't have the vast knowledge of English. I am not talking about the preliminary knowledge, I am talking about the vast knowledge that could provide a perfect environment. The another problem, the students are not much encouraged to speak English inside or outside the classroom with the native speakers who do their daily works in their regional or vernacular languages. It is often seen in our vernacular medium schools, students are not much encouraged. They are afraid of making a question. They are afraid of raising a question because they are afraid of making grammatical mistakes. Let me raise a question, respected speaker sir. Let me raise a question to them. If I randomly pick one student from your school from class 6 to class 8, will you be able to speak with me? Students are not much encouraged. They are afraid of making a question. They are afraid of raising a question because they are afraid of making grammatical mistakes. Let me raise a question, respected speaker sir. Let me raise a question to them. If I randomly pick one student from your school from class 6 to class 8, will you be able to speak with me in English? Will you be able to communicate with me in English? They better not, they will not. Because they are not getting the perfect environment for communication in English. Respected speaker sir, let me give an example of Kenya, where the students are getting too much downgraded because they are being unable to communicate in English. They are being unable to communicate in English because they are not getting perfect environment. The UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Cultural, and Scientific Organization says that 171 million of the world population would have escaped extreme poverty, would have got their employment if they had the basic literacy skills in English. Our Constitution of India, the 1963, the Constitution of 1963 says that if you had the basic literacy skills in English, all the things, even in the parliament, even in the halls, even in the central government, and the companies owned by the central government, that all the languages will be officially in English. The Article 343, I will raise a question to you. Do you know about the Article 343? It says that all the things will be in English, that were immediately before the commencement. So in India, where English is given the high priority, students are being unable to communicate in English. There must be a reason, there is one reason, the regional language is making a barrier for them. We have given the example of China, we have given the example of Japan. They are some developed countries. In India, you can't be established in India. You can't be established in India for yourself. You have to go away and study. You have to go away for establishment. And there you can communicate with the peoples with your regional languages. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
জীবন আধার জল জলে জীবন নির্মল জলর অধিকারী প্রতিজন ঘরে ঘরে বিশুদ্ধ খোৱা পানী পাব নিৰাপদ প্ৰতিজন ৰোগ ব্যাধি আঁতৰিব অসমে দেখিব নতুনৰ সমীৰণ পানীয়েই প্ৰাণীৰ প্ৰাণ এয়াই মূল মন্ত্ৰ যাৰ হৈছে সমাধান জল জীবন মিশন জীবন আধার জল জলে জীবন নির্মল জলর অধিকারী প্ৰতিজন ঘৰে ঘৰে সুখৰ আগমন জীবন আধার জল জলে জীবন নির্মল জলর অধিকারী প্ৰতিজন